This girl has been in a life-threatening car crash that has left her physical body in a coma, while her consciousness takes over somebody else's body. Forced into a real-life dating sim and tasked with stealing the hearts of 3 public figures or big celebrities. Failing to do so will result in her stationary body's termination as well as her consciousness being instantly removed from the borrowed body. In short, immediate death. When the woman wakes up in her new body, her situation is explained on a large holographic note that appears as something you'd see in a video game. It doesn't take her long to look around the owner of her body's house. When she tries to stay calm and rationalize the situation by assuming it's a dream, she looks in the mirror and is even more shocked by her new appearance. Even more by the game-like button above it saying customize. When she presses it, it takes her to an actual customization area for her body, or you could say avatar. It's clear that the woman's not a fan of her new appearance and begins changing most of her body's features like hair, color, and facial features. When she's satisfied, she exits and looks at her new appearance. She's not a fan of her clothing, but she didn't have the option to change it anyway. Suddenly, she hears an alarm coming from her new owner's body's phone. She takes it out of her drawer and finds the person's ID as well. The woman takes the opportunity to learn her new name. Her name is Lori Williams. The phone alarm is still ringing, and it turns out it's a reminder to go to work. Not sure of what to do, she decides to look through the woman's phone to get more information on where and what she does for work. Lori was a journalist for a big company, so the woman decided to keep her clothes on as they represented office attire and get to work on time. On the way there, she spent most of her time trying to learn more about herself, concluding that Lori was quite the uneventful and uninteresting person. When she arrived at work, she was rudely greeted by her colleagues in a condescending, sarcastic tone.
This irritated Lori, but she subtly began to follow them to the office where she worked, keeping her distance enough for them not to notice. When she made it to her office, she saw a glowing arrow hovering over what turned out to be her desk. It disappeared when she sat down, but it appeared to be invisible to everyone else. At her desk, her computer screen lit up, giving her a quest. Complete task to meet first love interest, it said. Lori accepted it out of curiosity. She was tasked with coming up with an intriguing story with good writing and eye-catching titles to present to the higher-ups. Lori assumed that completing the task would bring her closer to getting her life back, which was the perfect motivation she needed to get started. Lori worked overtime to research popular topics and celebrities in this world. 4 hours after work, she was still at the office, but she had finally found her next big story. The exhausted woman was eager to get some rest, and quickly took her work and made her way back home. Once she arrived back at her apartment, she was disappointed to see how messy it was. Something she hadn't noticed earlier with everything going on. Our girl can't relax in a mess, so it was just another thing getting in the way of her sleep. An hour and 30 minutes later, Lori had successfully finished cleaning her room and immediately passed out on her bed. But in the morning, Lori woke up late for work again. She rushed to work, putting together the best outfits she could find in her closet. It was an important day, for she would be presenting her story on a big topic and was concerned if the higher-ups would like it or not. Lori ran into one of her passive-aggressive co-workers once she got to work and entered her cubicle. This meant that she had to listen to an earful from a lady who seemed to get satisfaction from looking down on other people. Lori decided to rise above it and just ignore her, which greatly irritated her co-worker Melissa, and she proceeded to make passive-aggressive remarks throughout the work period and all through lunch. Lori was doing her best to ignore it by distracting herself with her presentation, but she had passed her limit. Finally, she stood up and suggested Melissa focus on being a good employee unless she wanted to remain in the same position for another 5 years. Lori wondered right after she said it how she knew that information, as she wasn't the real Lori. Meanwhile, Melissa was fuming with anger, but didn't know what to say. Lori took the opportunity to make her exit while the other employees in the break room were staring at her in shock. Another idea pitch was happening in the next 20 minutes, so she quickly went to her cubicle to rest down her work before making a quick stop to the bathroom. Little did she know that Melissa had taken the document and shredded it. Once Lori got back, she asked where her notes were and checked everywhere. Melissa enthusiastically pointed to the shredder, which stunned Lori. Right when the others were called into the room to hear her presentation. Get this video to 500 likes to hear part 2. Have a good day!